Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Aussie Tech Heads. This is episode 335 on the 4th of April 2013. We've survived April Fool's Day. I think. I don't think we've got any stories here this week for you that are not true. There's a couple floating around, but I don't know about you. I'm getting a bit over it all myself. I didn't actually read any stories on April Fool's Day. But anyway, that's just me. How are yous? Welcome to the lounge, aussietechheads.com.au/live. Welcome to the guys in the lounge. Join us every Thursday night, and they squeeze in there, and I don't know what they do in there. I'll have to have a look one night. Might have to join them. I think they're having fun. A lot of strange noises coming out of there, but I think they have them fun. Welcome to everyone else that listens through the podcast or via the video through the front of the page or through YouTube. Welcome all. Tonight's episode, as always, is partly funded by the hosting. aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. If you need web hosting for your business or personal blog, jump on and get some of these really good, affordable, professional, fast-serving plans. Excellent stuff. Excellent. There's links on the homepage if you forgot what the address is that I just said. What else is there? Every Thursday night, we also have replays of other tech shows, and we always have to thank them, tech@webcast.info, and a new one that's joined us every time they're going to put out a video version of their podcast, geeksphere.tv, from all the way from New Zealand, so check them out. We've got a great green screen they've got going. Check out the episode 12.1. Go over there and, get involved. All right, welcome to our hosts tonight, Shane and Will. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's been going on? Let's start with Shane. What's been going on, Shane?
Not a lot really. Same dog, different leg. There has been some interesting things going on. I did had another chat with someone in another country.
Nice.
And for Aussie Tech Heads.
And you recorded it.
And I recorded it.
Even better.
And yes.
So good.
And I met someone really kind of important in the podcasting industry, but I didn't record that part.
Oh no, who was it? Are we allowed to know?
Leo the Port kind of crashed the interview.
There he is. Oh, Shane, he's mixing with the eyebrows of the podcast industry. Good on you. Doing real well.
And he didn't record it?
Now,
No, it was right at the start.
Now, I'll tell you, has everyone out there caught the Change Tom Merritt interview? If you haven't, go to the aussietechheads.com.au/specials or just to the main podcast page and look for the tab specials and have a look at the Tom Merritt interview. It's great. Very, very, I don't know, informative, interesting. It's really great. So that's still there. And we've got another one next week, I believe, Shane. Another one launching next week, so that'll be interesting. We'll let you know who that is later on.
Let me know who that is, Glenn.
I will. All right. I think, you might have another few up your sleeve to record, but you got a few in the can, Shane, so that'll keep us going for a couple of weeks, so good work. What else has been going on? What have you been doing, Will? Working hard?
Seems to do a whole lot of nothing. I seem to be doing a whole lot and not achieving anything.
Yeah, that seems to be the way that it happens down here too. Yes, all right.
Well, what did it take me 15 minutes tonight to get my microphone and camera working, so I'm on the ball.
All right, so that's the host roundup, and Eric is not available this week either. He'll be back soon. He has got a what would be the word? I don't know what the word is, but he'll be back soon. That's all I can say. There's no finite date, but when he gets all his work done. So he's a pretty busy little beaver.
To be advised.
TBA. So he'll be back. All right, let's get into it. So this month we're going to focus on backups, I think. And because we're focusing on backup, we're going to have a backup month. Each week we're going to talk about something different in relation to backup. But I think little Shane has a story about backups, because it was at World Backup Day earlier this week, I believe.
It was. I'm trying something new out, guys. I'm actually going to read my stories from my tablet so I can actually look at the camera when I'm talking to people.
Does that work?
Happy World Backup Day. Go back up your stuff. Seriously, go and back up your stuff. All right. Hard drives, and it's a story about World Backup Day, which was on the 31st of March, I believe. March, April. Yeah, March. 31st of March.
The one that's just gone.
Yeah, and it started by Reddit, or it started on Reddit back in 2011, and it's been ripping through the rest of the tech-loving world ever since. They make the point that it's a serious thing because, obviously the next day being April Fool's Day, people kind of think, is it serious or not? And then the rest of the article that you can see on TechCrunch this time just goes on to say how important backup is, the services you can use, how you can go about doing your backup, and so on and so on.
All right. Now, we'll just briefly, what is your backup regime? What do you do for backing up, Shane? Have you got a regime? Do you back up?
I write everything down twice on two different pieces of paper.
Oh, the old carbon. What about carbon? Save your time.
What I do is I've got obviously my main computer, then that goes to an external hard drive as well. Then that gets backed up to a service on the cloud, which is called iDrive. Other things like these interviews and so on have been either split between Dropbox or SkyDrive, depending on where I can put them at the time. And so I've got everything probably in 2 or 3 places.
Now, Will, what do you do for backups? Because you're real big on backups.
Yeah, I've got a couple of different options. There's everything. Obviously, all the computers have 2 drives in them that automatically mirror, and then all the files on those that are regularly used get backed up to the main server, which also has 2 drives that mirror, and then that gets backed up on Backblaze. It gets backed up online.
Right.
And so that's there's at least 2 copies and 3 copies of most things. So
yep. Now, if you haven't got yourself cloud backup, you can do it just on 2 hard drives. One, like fill one hard drive up, duplicate it to another hard drive, put one at another location just in case your house burns down. I was doing that, but now I think all of us here have got the cloud backup of some sort. I use Crash Plan, and so what happens is the data is backed up onto my Windows Home server. Well, the data is stored on the Windows Home server, then it is duplicated on the server as well, just in case one of the drives die, and then every night it is also checked for new files or new versions of the files and then backed up to the Crash Plan. So hopefully, fingers crossed, and touch wood, that if there's a disaster, I'm safe. So I think most of us have got that, so that's really good. Now, look, I don't have anything to give away for the backup month, except I'm going to give some CDs away, but I'm going to tell you how to do that probably in a tweet or something. It's either going to be a Facebook page or a tweet. I know the last CD I tried to give away wasn't very popular. I think it was, who was it? Britney Spears or something. I think someone said they'd have it just to put in the microwave, but I did give it to a worthy recipient. But this time I've got a Justin Timberlake. Maybe he's more popular than what's he jigger? So there he is. Oh, Jusso. Oh no, it's nothing to do with backups, but I just have it laying around so someone can have it. It's brand new. It's never been played, untouched by human hands. Look at that. Look inside. Ooh, it's like,
you might be better off actually giving them away a blank CD so they could use it for their backups.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Why don't we give them a couple of DVRs or something?
No, this one's got more on it. All right, so that's good. So go and do that, and Crash Plan. We'll think of another cloud backup service, and we'll have a quick chat about it next week. We'll give you another one. All right, what else have we got going here? Happy birthday. Will was all over this one. You were saying this was big news. Will, happy birthday to what?
I'm not going to tell you now.
No. I'll give you a hint.
Send him a tweet.
It starts. Yeah,
Really?
it's a brick. 40 years. I think it was today or yesterday. But the mobile phone was. It's incorrect to say it was invented by Motorola, but they certainly had the jump on the opposition because having being in the communications industry with two-way radios and everything like that. They certainly had the jump on it, and they were the first to, I guess, make it a practical mobile phone. Now, car phones had been around for a few years prior to that,
but they weren't.
But they weren't portable handheld phones. So Martin Cooper, who was an engineer with Motorola, he made the first call publicly from a mobile phone on the 3rd of April, 1973. He was basically standing on the corner of, standing on 6th Avenue in New York, and his first call was to the competitors, who was Joel Engel at Bell Labs, to boast that he was doing and what he was doing with it. And the same day, Cooper said he could have been the first casualty because he was walking across the road while he was talking on the phone and nearly got hit by a car. So, the first phone weighed about 1 kilo, had 35 minutes of talk time. It had a black and white screen. Pretty much it looked like a brick with a number pad on it, pretty much.
Now, apparently Cooper, this is Martin Cooper, told when he called to AT&T, he says, Joel, obviously that's the guy's name he would call, Joel, I'm calling you from a cellular phone, a cellular phone, a real cellular. Oh, he didn't mess up on that word either, just quietly. But I'm calling from a cellular. I can't even say it. I'm calling from a mobile phone. A real mobile phone. A handheld, portable, real mobile phone, he recalled. And also, as he recalls, Joel wasn't too appreciative. I think Joel just quietly said, that's good, and hung up. So, but happy birthday, mobile phone. I remember mine, I don't know what it was, but it was a Nokia 5110 or something. Was that one of them?
Was that your first phone, really?
Yeah.
I think so.
Wow, you're late to the game.
Oh, it might have been a Motorola, something or other, with a real dodgy aerial that pulled out on a real thin sort of a wire. And
my first portable phone, you'd hardly call it a mobile phone, was the Motorola bag phone,
right,
which was analog, and it basically was a battery the size of a bag and a hand receiver.
Oh, I think my old man had one of those. Yeah,
that was my first phone.
Yeah, that would have been expensive back then.
Had a unit in phone.
Yeah, they were. I think off the top of my head, because Dad bought it for the business. I think they were about 10 grand. That was fitted in the car with the phone, external aerial, and because it was mainly for use in the car, but you could take it out. And he had like 4 batteries for it, and so this thing, by the time it fitted, I think it was something like 10 grand or 8 grand or something like that. And then I had another analog phone, and then I moved on to digital and got like the Philips Savvy, and then the Motorola Jazz, and then the Nokia 5110, and then.
Now, do you remember, or does any of you remember what the prefixes were for the old analog phones, for phone numbers?
018.
That's right, yeah. 018s, eh? I wonder, with the 018...
015, 014...
I can't even remember that.
7, I think?
They were actually, when they 018 and 019 and 017 were Telstra, 011, 012, 013 were Vodafone, and Optus was in the middle.
Oh, Shane, you're all over it.
I used to work there, remember?
Oh, that's right. He's all over it like butter on a corn cob. Good work. All right. I don't know. One night, but what have I got now? An iPhone 5. Woo, yay. I've come up in the world. All right. So
you still haven't got a proper phone after all those years?
I've got a proper phone, Will. Don't you worry about it. It does everything I need it to do. It's brilliant. It does everything I need it to do. Not like my last one where I'm stuck in the middle of Brisbane. Do you think I can get a signal? No. This one, no problems. All right. Let's look, I've got a story. Now, what will I do? Let me do this one here. Microsoft, they're releasing a new sort of not a new version, but what would they call it? There's an upgrade for Windows 8. There is an upgrade for Windows 8. It's called the Microsoft...
Already?
Yes, 8.1 or 8 Blue or something like that. So Blue's in there somewhere. Yes, along with, but the company still isn't saying when the update's going to be ready. In early January, the company said that 60 million Windows 8 licenses had been sold in the first 10 weeks of the software's availability. So that's good, but apparently analysts weren't happy with that, so they wanted more. Reports earlier this week said that the Windows 8 upgrade would provide the ability to view as many as 4 multitasking applications called Snap Views. Well, there you go. There's another word for us to remember. The software is also expected to offer a more customizable look and a range of new touch gestures and options. The next release of the Internet Explorer 11 will also, or could be, released at the same time as the Windows 8 upgrade. So, they're calling it 8.1 or Windows 8 Blue or something like this. So maybe, are they going away from service packs? Is this the new way of doing things? Does everyone know that it's 8 point something is an upgrade? Or
I caught a bit of this on Windows Weekly, and I got the impression that it was a new release of Windows.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
really?
thought too, from what I heard. It's
Yeah,
probably
right.
not. It's just the way they were touting it basically makes it seem like it's a whole new invention.
Well, maybe. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, who knows? But as far as this story goes, where's this one come from? This is from the crn.com.au. No reason to disbelieve it. Yeah, but it's saying they're calling it an upgrade. So maybe, well, it's an upgrade. So, look, if it's only going to have a few new items, well, it's an upgrade, isn't it? So,
Hopefully, it works better than the Windows upgrade that you fork out money for and doesn't do anything.
what's that?
The first Windows 8 upgrade. The one
Oh,
that
yours didn't
spent
work.
$35 to buy the upgrade, and I've tried it on 3 different computers, and it refuses to work on any of them.
Well, I don't know why. Why is that? It's an upgrade. So you put 7 on first and then tried to upgrade.
We put 7 on first, and the
Yep.
upgrade, and it doesn't let you choose 32 or 64. So okay, I put 64-bit Windows 7 on. It still only installs 32, and then it doesn't even do that properly. It restarts once and never starts again. And I've done it on 3 different computers. So
Yeah, I don't know what's
yeah,
going on there.
So that worked well.
You'll have to try it on one of those laptops I give you, Will. Now you got them working. Try it on
I
one of
don't
them.
think they're powerful enough.
Oh, they would be. That HP one would be for sure. That's got Vista on it.
What, 1.6?
Well, it's running Vista. It'll run 8.
Suppose if it runs Vista, it'll run anything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. Well, what have you got a story,
So
Will?
do we think that Windows 8 is actually the latest Windows Vista?
No, I like it. I like Windows 8. I didn't mind Vista either,
You
really.
like Windows Vista?
Oh, I didn't mind it. Like it worked. I didn't. Yes, it was big and sluggish, and
It's people like you that let Microsoft get away with it. See,
look. So what did you have it on your machine, or you refused to have it, and you had what? What did you have on yours instead? XP.
What?
You refused to upgrade to Vista.
yeah, like 85% of the world, I refused to put Vista on my computer until Windows 7 came out. Windows 7 was fine. It's generally, I mean, Windows 8. Look, I have used Windows 8. Sonia's work uses it. I've been in there a few times to fix problems for them. Once you figure a few little pain in the ass things out, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's stable. It's unbelievably quick on the boot. The boot is just amazingly fast on the thing. Until they install Service Pack 1, that'll just destroy it. But so far, I haven't had any success with it. I don't know anybody other than you who has, but everybody I've spoken to who has used it for more than a couple of weeks actually doesn't mind it too much. Then again, some people like Sonia, who's used to a fully customized Windows 7, goes to Windows 8 at work and really struggles to use it because half the stuff she's used to doesn't exist or is done strangely in Windows 8. So,
But that's just to be expected if things are moved around a bit. But as far as the actual working and stability and compatibility of it, like that's what I work in. Unfortunately, I can't on podcast nights. I still have to boot up in Windows 7. But that's only because I think for some reason the program that we use, the Vid Blaster, isn't really liking Windows 8. But that's not Windows 8's fault. That's the Vid Blaster's fault. But that's something.
Well, it's like anything. I mean, look, when Windows 7 came out, it took 12 months before MYOB and all those guys got it to work. So, I mean, and that's Microsoft's fault again for releasing the code so late.
But then it's also the others are, sometimes they drag their heels a bit. Like MyOb, I've had to make a virtual Windows 7 machine just to run the MyOb version I've got because they wanted me to, if I was to get a Windows 8 version, then they wanted me to spend hundreds of dollars just to upgrade just so I could use it on Windows 8. So I just went on I did a VMware, Windows 7 virtual machine and Bing boppity
Well, of course they did. They figured you're stupid enough to buy it the first time. You're stupid enough to pay for an upgrade.
Well, they may do. I think that's what happens because I tell you, I'm not a fan of MyOb or QuickBooks to be honest. I just think it is. Look, of course, I can't do it myself. I wouldn't be able to program it myself, and it is a complex sort of stuff. But, geez, I think they could have done better. I really think they could have done better. I think it's lagging behind in so many ways. The UI, the way that it constructs everything. Like as you know, I do work for my brother. He's got a retail outlet. You've got to export his machine into CSV, re-import it into, the MyOb, just so you can get... It's just a real messy thing to do that. Even just to do point of sale stuff. But anyway, enough of that. What were we talking about? What was the story? Oh, that's right. I said
Windows
Will.
8.
That's right, Will. I said, did you have a story?
I've got a couple of stories, but one thing I'd like to just follow up on last week or week before now, we're talking about the death of Google Reader and a few other programs you can use to replace that. And I've been using the old Reader. It's called you can go to theoldreader.com, and I love it. It's basically pretty much exactly the same as Google Reader. It's the same layout, same design. It's a little bit more flashy. But I really like it. I think it's fast and seems to be working for me. So I'm happy to go that way.
Oh, that's good. I think
it automatically imports all your feeds across when you log in, because you can use your Google account to log in. So,
well, I'm doing Feedly. What are you up to, Shane? Did you use Reader, or you've got another way of doing things?
I used Reader for a while, but the stories were coming through just that thick and fast that I couldn't really keep up. So basically, all I do now is just use my my iPhone app. It's the I don't know if I think it's just Australia News, and you can set it up so you've got it does, like, it has a sports section, a business section, a tech section, like a part.
Yeah,
and,
a chapter.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, and like all news, all that kind of stuff, and it in most cases, the only thing that it doesn't do for some strange reason is Gizmodo. You can't email from, you can't tweet from. You can't, so that's a bit weird. So I lack kind of Gizmodo stories.
Right.
But most of the other sources I can actually email from.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do. Yeah, I just use the Feedly. I go through, it organises it just like Reader, I suppose, organises it into reverse chronological order, and I just go bang, 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 just go through the ones until I find one that I like, and I'll read it, and then I'll note it down in Google Drive documents or whatever it is, and then I copy and paste them into the show notes. So it's nice and easy for me. I don't do them on my phone. Now, was there any Android news this week, Will? Any new phones? Seems to be a phone every day.
Look, there's a few rumours out there. There's talk of a new Facebook phone, the HTC First. Which is supposed to be actually released.
Now.
Probably in 12 hours from now on the 1st, on the 4th.
Can we have the time? Can we have the time difference episode again?
Well, it's released on the 4th US time, so but I mean, there's nothing special about it. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's 4.3 inch screen, 1.5 gig dual core processor, 5 meg camera. How's it getting? It's getting sad now that a 5 megapixel camera, 16 gig RAM, 1.5 dual core processor is really entry level. It's amazing, isn't it? But yeah, there's not much. There's a few updates, a few things coming out. Gingerbread, and things like that. New updates have come out for that. There's millions of rumors getting around. Nexus 7, the new Galaxy Tab 3. But there is one thing I guess it's kind of related, is that Optus has announced a new set of bring your own mobile month-by-month plans.
Right.
So instead of being on a 24-month contract, you can just be on a month-by-month. It's not prepaid in the traditional sense. It is, but you can opt to actually get a bill and pay it that way as well. It's on the Optus 4G network, which isn't too bad. I've used that in the capital cities anyway. It's pretty good. They've got $10 movie tickets for Hoyts and things like that. Basically, $20 a month gets you $200 calls and 200 meg data. $40 is 500 calls and 1 gig data, and $60 is unlimited calls and 2 gig data.
Yeah, okay.
So they're all they're getting a bit different than the prepaid in terms of having to go and recharge and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different, but it's more like a normal monthly plan, but you're not locked in because you're not paying for the phone. So they're not locking you into the service. You just choose when you want to, not want to pay for it. Bring your own phone and
Have you sussed out any of the Audi plans or services?
Yeah, I've actually been using it. I've got the original Galaxy Tab, and it's got obviously a SIM card slot for 3G. And given that it's only a 3G device anyway, and not 4G, not HSDPA or anything like that, the Audi is fine. It works at its maximum speed, which is only a couple of meg up and down, but that's as fast as the device will use anyway because it's only a 3G device. I get I can't remember what it was. I think it's $30 for the internet plan, which is it 4 gig? I think it is for $30 a month, and I use that as we use it quite regularly. You took it down to Evan's Head. They even had signal down there. So, I can't knock it. They haven't complained. Like, I had 2 days to go on my 30 days, and I downloaded, I streamed mainly YouTube stuff. Probably out of the 4 gig, probably 3.5 gig, all in one hit. There was no complaints from them. They didn't hit
what
me
are they
off
going to do?
like what's the name did.
Codes.
So
that's good.
That's not too bad.
Oh, good.
The only thing you got to watch is the operators who actually at the cashiers don't know what they're selling you. So because there's a $30 plan and then there's a $30 internet, they're actually different cards with different codes.
Right.
So if you're not paying attention, they'll give you the $30 phone plan instead of the $30 internet plan.
Right. Yeah,
so you'll end up with about 100 meg of data instead of what you're supposed to get.
Now,
so you got to watch that.
Now, so speaking of Audi, and it's something that Audi doesn't do, but it's something I know that Woolies do. And I don't know if you guys have checked this out, but they'll click and collect. You get on the Woolies website, you click what you do, you're shopping on there, you click what you want, and then you pick a time when you want to go pick it up. They'll give you like little windows, and you say, you want to pick it up at 3 p.m. You go to the drive-through or the parcel pickup. It's all waiting for you. You don't have to do the shopping. How good's that? Now,
I don't get it because, and I'll tell you why I have not an issue, but why I don't get it. I don't use Woolies because it's too expensive, but Coles Online, right? We do our shopping. They're just too expensive. That's all there is to it. The Woolies, the actual food, the stuff from Woolies is too expensive, and their delivery is twice as expensive as anyone else. But with Coles, so we get our order, and then we choose when we have it delivered. For $6, we can get our shopping delivered to us at any time from 4 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock of the night of our choosing.
But that's not too bad. I think Woolies started off at about $5, and then
it's $11 to get Woolies here.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not sure what it is down here, but this is what I'm talking about. Is you don't. Then it's not delivery. You go and pick it up.
I know. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, though. For the sake of $5, why would you try and find a car park?
Well, that's right.
Run through a gaggle of screaming kids, stand in a queue. Just get the thing delivered. Seriously.
Yeah, true. Yeah, well, that's true, and that's another option. But the reason I bring this up is I think Shane's got a story that's related to online shopping, as in online grocery shopping, and this is something that obviously is typically will be in beta and typically will probably close down as soon as it becomes useful. What is it, Shane?
I picked up that you were going to probably do a segue to this story. Some little company in America called Google trialing grocery deliveries. The internet search leader, and this story comes from news.com.au, is basically venturing into online shopping. Their main kind of gimmick, if you like, is same-day delivery service. They're going to take on the likes of, it's obviously only going to start in America and probably just stay there. And they're going to take on the likes of Walmart and Amazon, I think, but eBay and Amazon, they also offer same-day delivery. You going to ask a question?
I was just going to ask. I'm not sure how how deep you delved into the story. But is it so? How are they doing it? Are they going to send someone around to the shops just to walk the aisles, or are they going to have a warehouse themselves?
I haven't actually delved into that deeply, but what I do know is that the actual delivery people and cars and everything are actually going to be outsourced. They're not going to be Google people.
Right.
It does actually say in the story who they've actually outsourced that to, but because I'm trying to find it, I can't.
There'll be a mix of national, regional, and neighbourhood merchants that will be. You'll actually enlist into the Google Shopping Express.
Right.
So you'll enlist and say, I'm a vendor for this in this area. If somebody wants to let me know. Some of the better knowns are Target and Walgreen. All the merchants in the Google program will sell certain items through central website. So it's kind of bringing all the shopping things into one place. Google has hired couriers services to pick up the orders at the merchant stores, and then they'll be drop shipping them straight to the customer's home. The couriers will be contract basis, but they will be driving Google branded trucks and wearing company issued uniforms.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, so what do they drop reader for this? I don't know. So you're going to get used to this. You're going to get all settled into your weekly Google grocery delivery, and they're going to stop it. That's what they do. They stop things.
I love at the bottom of the story, it carries on about this, and then down the bottom of the story it says, Google Reader is scheduled to close in July, and iGoogle will shut down in November.
What's wrong with
Thought I'd add
iGoogle?
that in.
That's another thing. iGoogle. I use it.
No one used it.
Oh, I still use it.
Really?
I think it's good.
I used to use it, but since the advent of Chrome, I don't think I've ever gone to google.com.
Well, I
Let
use
alone
it.
iGoogle.
Well, I use it because I've got, how you had your widgets, and I got your menus from different stores.
Weather and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, and I don't know why they're closing stuff down. God, they got billions. They can afford to keep little Poindexter on the job, can't they? Pay him 20 biscuits a day.
Yeah, but I mean, is it practical to maintain servers for that sort of thing? That's the thing. Like, if you've only got, let's say they've only got 20,000 users using a product, it's not practical for them to maintain that server.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, look, well,
if it was a
do you really have to, I suppose they do work it all out, don't they? But surely that wouldn't take too much room to do a night just to keep Google running.
Given that a lot of the stuff was a 20% project anyway, so it's quite possible the person who was responsible for it's left and nobody wants to stick their hand up to maintain it.
Maybe. Well, anyway, Microsoft is out and Google is in at the Dick Smith stores. I don't know if you guys saw this, but anyway, the last year I think there was a bit of a whatever you call it. People leave the companies leaving, Microsoft Outlook and all this sort of stuff, and they're all signing up to Google in the cloud to get their emails. Dick Smith is going to move its 4,500 inboxes from an on-premise Microsoft Exchange server to Gmail in the coming weeks. Dick Smith's IT director, Linda Venables, told IT News she expected Dick Smith's 4,500 staff to use Google's cloud-based productivity tools predominantly for internal communication and collaboration. Google Forms would be particularly useful for collecting information about promotions from Dick Smith's 323 stores. Dick Smith's use of Google Talk and Hangouts will also be limited to internal communications, but their future may bring that might expand to, I don't know, you might be able to do a hangout with, they might hang out with a customer or something, fix a problem. And look, I don't know, look, why Google? I suppose, well, they're paying for it, aren't they?
Free.
Well, no, they'd be paying for that. They'd be paying what, $50 is it? Well, how much is that Google for Business, Google Apps? That's what they'd be having, isn't it? But
no, I don't pay. I've got Google Apps and I don't pay.
Yeah, you can get a business one though, where it's all much more integrated.
Is it $5 a month? $5 a month for each person?
It's per user or something, yeah.
So, but then again, Google's got, they got their cloud and everything, but Microsoft's also got Outlook now in the cloud. So are they saying that, Microsoft hasn't developed out their stuff as much as what they'd be hoping for? I don't understand now why everyone's still... I can see why you want to get away from on-site or on-premise mail servers. I know there's arguments for it, but I've never really understood that myself, really. I'd rather have it in the cloud, less worry. It's all serviced, it's looked after, it's all, kept nice and cool, so you don't have to worry about nothing. Backed up. But, I don't know. But anyway, Microsoft.
Speaking of Dick Smith too, they've got in their latest catalogue, they've got NFC tactiles, which are programmable NFC chips, which are near field communications. We know them here mainly as the swipey things in our credit cards, but you can use them for a lot more than that. For example, you could put an NFC chip, because most new phones have NFC built into them. So you could put an NFC chip near your front door, for example. So when you walk in the front door, it turns on your Wi-Fi, turns off your Bluetooth, and does a 4-square check-in, for example. Or you could have it so when you sit down at your desk at work, it automatically enables your Wi-Fi hotspot, so you could use your laptop. So they're programmable. You can have each chip do a separate thing.
So did you say that these are selling now?
Pretty neat. Yeah, you can buy. I mean, you've been able to buy them for a while, but it's been very hard to buy them in a shop. You've been able to buy them on eBay and places like that. But $15 will get you 5 tags, which isn't the cheapest price, but for walking into Dick Smith and buying them, that's pretty good, because I have seen them at I can't remember where I saw them now. At I don't know, I can't remember.
And so
I did see them in a shop somewhere, and they were about $15 per tag. So,
and does it come with software to help you program
them? There's a few different ways of doing it. You can either do it on your phone. You can get an NFC reader for your computer. That sort of thing. You'll have to organise for yourself. It's not very difficult. It's basically the chip emits a particular frequency, and when it's not so much you're programming the chip, you program your phone to function when it gets activated by a certain frequency. So, for example, you can, like National Australia Bank are actually trialling at the moment. You can put your card frequency into your phone and then just swipe your phone at the touch and goes instead of having to dig out your card.
Yeah, right.
So there is starting to become more of a thing. The Commonwealth Bank, ANZ, Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank, and ANZ are trialing these at the moment. So I reckon that's pretty neat, to be honest. I think that's something that, you've always got a phone with you anyway, and you've usually got it in your hand or in your top pocket, and generally it's easier to get to your phone than to your wallet. So.
Oh, that's right.
And these NFC cards thing, I know you said that they're programmable, but are they reprogrammable? Can you repurpose the one card for something else?
Well, it's not the card that you're programming. You're programming your device to recognise that card and do something when it recognises that. It's basically like whether it be an e-toll or whether it be a security swipe card that you're swiping into a secure door. The card itself is the device that it recognises, but it doesn't actually do the work. It's just a frequency, and then the software attached to that. So in this case, your phone would be the one that does it, or if you use your phone over the top of a PayWave device, when it emits the frequency, the PayWave device knows what to do with it. So the chip itself isn't the smart thing. It's
okay. So what you're saying is that you go down and you get your 5 chips for $15. So one chip you might put at your front door, another chip you might put at your work desk, another chip you might put in your car, and so forth. And then as you walk,
we might put one in your car
as you walk around
to turn off the ringtone and make it go into
Bluetooth
car mode or whatever. Yeah.
So that's probably pretty handy. I'd like to. I'd
and
like to explore that.
As you walk within, obviously you've got to be pretty close. So the one on your desk, you'd put your phone on top of it, or the one in the door would be about where your top pocket is. So because they've only got a couple inches range.
Yeah.
They haven't got a huge range.
Oh, look, if anyone's out there who wants to explore that a bit more, do it. Do it. Let us know how you go, because that sounds pretty interesting. So are all these things are available at all Dick Smiths, I'd imagine? Oh, I can't check them out.
As far as I know, as I said, the NFC tags have been available on eBay. I'm actually trying to find. I know I've got one sitting in front of me here somewhere, but I cleaned it up on the weekend, so there's no chance I'm going to find it. But I actually got some on eBay. But if you want to just walk
You've
into
cleaned
a
up?
bricks and mortar store, well, by cleaning up, I mean I moved stuff from here to here. That's cleaning up, you know.
Well, that spot's clean.
Yeah, that's right. I can I've got a keyboard and mouse now. What more do you want? Yeah, so you can actually be able to walk into a store saying, I need those, I'll go and grab them. And there are, as I said, a couple of stores, like J-Car's the store I was thinking of, but they're really expensive. So at that price, as far as I know, Dick Smith would be the best place to walk in and get one at this point.
All right. But you'd have to wait till your phone was NFC. This is what you're saying.
Most new phones, anything from 18 months ago, possibly will support it. Pretty much everything that comes out from Christmas onwards pretty much will support it.
Except from Apple.
Apart from the iPhone.
Yeah, well, most real phones that are worth having will support it. You know, because they actually give their users an experience the user wants, not an experience the organisation wants.
Oh, now you know.
Eric will be pulling his hair out when he hears it.
Okay, look, I'll level the playing field. I've bagged on Apple a bit, so I'll level it out for you.
A bit.
I can bag on them more if you want.
No, they're good.
But given that their stupid iOS is different between iPhones and iPads, and you can't stream on an iPad and an iPhone at the same time.
You know.
Apple Siri
tries.
voice control system to be used in the new Holden Barina. Holden has upstaged on the luxury. No, Apple has upstaged the luxury brands to be the first car maker in Australia to introduce Apple Siri's voice control. Not only is it Holden first, it's also likely the most affordable car with the technology. The system will debut in the updated version of the Barina due in showrooms this month. The only catch is only available on the top of the line CDX, which starts at $20.5, which is about $4.5 more than the base model.
So they're putting Siri into the car, Siri only into the car.
Yeah, well, it's voice. It's the whole voice thing. So they're trying to get away from, because Beamers and Mercedes and all that have had little mice or touch screen, or there's always had to be some user interaction with the car to make the GPS function or the radio or whatever. So the idea is like cars like Mercedes have been using them for about 12 months, but they're not available out of Germany, for example, because you've got to program each language and learn each language. But the new Holden Commodore due in June is also expected to be Siri. Basically, it works via... And this is the thing I don't get. It works via the iPhones in any car when connected via Bluetooth. So I have a sneaky suspicion all they're doing is making their devices Siri friendly. So when you say, play Metallica, for example, it will play through the head deck. Because the way this article reads is you still need to have an iPhone in the car for it to do that.
Yes.
Which to me kind of defeats the purpose, because for the sake of $150, I can go and buy an Android-based head deck that will do exactly the same thing. It's voice controlled, it does GPS. So I kind of don't... I mean, there is a button on the steering wheel that you press instead of having to press the phone, which I guess takes care of the whole hands-free thing. But it kind of seems like a really pinpoint niche way to do something.
Well, we'll just have to wait.
Doesn't it go to the extent of like you can control the aircon and all that kind of crap with it?
Well, that's what I thought. Maybe in the Mercedes and stuff, but from what I can gather with this implementation that Holden's doing, it's not much more than a normal Bluetooth. It doesn't control the car's functions. The way it's read is it basically just makes your phone hands-free. So it's a glorified $30 Bluetooth device.
All right, so we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Let's wait and see how it comes out. I know Ford in the US have got it all going on, haven't they?
Oh, they've got their, that thing.
They use Ford Sync.
Yeah.
Sync.
So apparently that's all going. Why doesn't that come out here? Like, I don't understand. These global companies, and America's had it for ages. What are they waiting for?
It's Ford America, though.
What are they waiting for? Christmas?
I think
They're waiting for the rest of the world to be America.
Something at it. They just don't call it Ford Sync. They call it something else.
Hasn't that Focus got the whole smart thing going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Who knows? But anyway,
It's chat room. Help us out.
it's time to hear from Garth. Now, Garth has recorded. I don't know if he's got a review this week. I think he might have a tip. So let's see if this will work. To start with, number one, let's see if it'll work.
Lucky you know what's going on.
Number two, let's see if it is a tip or not. Okay, take it away, Garthy boy.
Everyone, it's Glenn and Garth, and I think we're deviating this week to something a bit more interesting. Well, not more interesting. Should I say that? I shouldn't say that.
Gee
but
whiz.
to something else is similarly interesting.
I don't know what to say now, Glenn. I feel like I need to,
All right. Well, how about you just tell us what you got?
All right. So, what do we got? On Windows, you've got this in Word. You're typing away in a document, and you have autocomplete things. So, you can type a little phrase, and it expands it out to a huge, big, long paragraph, or
Yes.
finishes your autocomplete words.
Yeah.
Well, that same feature is built straight into iOS as well.
Okay.
So, if you go into Settings,
Yes.
then into General,
Yes.
Keyboard,
Yes.
and in there you'll find a Shortcuts link, where you can set up shortcuts.
Yep.
So there's a default one in there that Apple have put in to get you started, which is OMW for On My Way. So everyone, grab out your iPhone, type in OMW, and you'll see it automatically will expand to On My Way.
Nice.
So you can set up your own ones of those.
Oh,
So
yeah.
for me personally, I have it set. I have a few set up. Have GML for my Gmail account. It'll bring up my Gmail email address, or WML for my work email address. Various text shortcuts that autocomplete, or there's an app called Text Expander which does the same sort of thing.
Yeah, this is handy. This
But
is good. This is good.
is really good because one of the things on iOS is the typing. It's still a bit of a hassle. It's not the same as getting a keyboard. So anything you can do to make that typing happen a little bit quicker for you. So if you've got another good handy one is to use it for signatures. If you have different signatures for emails, like your professional
yes.
work email address,
Yes.
you can put in different signatures for different accounts. But if you have different signatures you want for different email addresses, then
yes,
for
nice.
different people, then you can do that as well.
So what happens? How does it know So you type in OMW for On My Way.
Yep.
But what happens if you chose a shortcut like Now, like NOW, but that's actually a word?
Well, you'd be an idiot, wouldn't you? So clearly you don't want to, select. So when you go into Settings, General, Keyboard, and the shortcuts, the text expander, whatever they call it, shortcuts in there, it'll give you a text field where you type the phrase that you want it to expand to, and another text field where you can type in what you want the contraction to be.
Right.
So clearly do not pick a contraction like NOW, which is a word. Otherwise, you won't be able to type NOW anymore.
Okay.
Or
Now,
you'll have fun doing so.
now just to recap there, it's tap Settings,
Yep.
navigate to General,
Exactly.
Keyboard, and add new shortcut.
That's right.
There you go, and
It's
just
a
follow
little
your
bit different
nose.
depending on whether you're on your iPad or your iPhone. There's slightly different interface there, but it's basically exactly the
But
same.
follow your nose. And you had another little tip for us this week.
One last thing on that one, though, is
Yes.
now under iOS 6, these have been around for a while, but under iOS 6, they now automatically sync with iCloud between your devices. So you set it up once on your iPad, and it'll be on your iPhone as well.
Nice.
Now another one that I'd like to quickly go over is the emoji keyboard. Now, or emoji, or however you want to say that one. So that's your smiley faces and your little symbols and things like that. So that keyboard is also built straight into iOS. If you go into the same sort of location that we were there, General, Settings, Settings, General, Keyboard, and under there there's a...
Or setting, launch settings on the General. Yep, tap the keyboard, and
Yep.
then again on Add New Keyboard.
Add New Keyboard.
Scroll-
Scroll down
yep.
to Emoji.
And tap on it, and they'll appear active in your keyboard settings.
Exactly. So now on your actual keyboard, when you're in a text field, right down the bottom left-hand corner between the Dictate button and the Numbers button, you'll have a Other Keyboards button. And if you tap on that, you'll find all these smiley faces, and there's about there's like 5 or 6 different pages of different faces. There's, I
There's
don't know.
Piles of poo.
There's steaming pile of poo. That's one of the icons. Seriously, I kid you not.
It is. There you can see it, right?
You can literally spend a day going through there's thousands of them in there.
Yep. There is. There's heaps. There's hearts.
heaps.
There's people. There's thumbs up, thumb down. Okay.
Yeah.
Punches, high fives, beers, hamburgers,
Mount Fuji.
farts, everything. Everything's in there.
Yeah, there's heaps of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So and then you can just toggle between the different keyboards you have enabled.
Now, tell me, when you do use any emoji,
Yes.
is it only, as far as you're aware, is it only coming out on the iOS?
That's
other
the biggest
end?
problem with it. So it's devices that support it. So if you're sending a text message to
iOS?
Android person,
Oh, yes.
they might not hear it properly. They might
No.
not see it properly, I should
Yeah.
say. And you might not have heard me say Android.
No.
either.
No.
No. So that
As-
is an issue.
All right. So if you ever wondered how to get the little smiley faces, there you go. Emoji, the emoji keyboard. Go and
Add that one as well.
go and jump on that as well.
Exactly.
All right. So that's it. Good stuff, Garth. A good couple of tips there this week. And we'll see you next time.
I'm sure you will. Ta-da.
All right, thanks, Garth. That was another couple of good tips there. No review this week, but tips are welcome all the same. Yeah, good. Now, you can catch Garth at, where's his webpage? iblindtech.com. Now, he does his little, what he calls demo casts, little audio snippets of helpful tips. If you're hard of seeing or whatever, he will guide you through the easy way and an easy way to use your iOS device. So good on you, Garth. iblindtech.com. If you want to see his reviews again, you can just go to the aussietechheads.com.au. /podcast, look for the iOS reviews part, and there you go. Or just search for me.
He's branching out. He's got another podcast as well called I Blind Cool Tech or something.
Yeah, something like that. He's doing a couple. Yes. So he's getting involved with with people that have hard of seeing, and like obviously, if you think about
Vision
it,
impaired, I think, is the term you're looking for.
oh, I wasn't looking hard enough. But I think, could you imagine, like, how would you feel? Where would you start to use an iOS device if you couldn't see what you were doing? But anyway, Garth will learn you. He'll learn you how to use it. So, good on him. iblindtech.com. Now, getting back to some stories, we might as well, because this is what we do. Now apparently NBN. Oh, the old NBN, eh? Here we go again, NBN. NBN Co. will use federal powers to override state laws to roll out fibre cables on power poles. I can't believe they're trying to do this. Like, I don't know. And obviously, in places where there's no pits or they're inaccessible or something, they're going to string them up on the power poles. Like, how ugly do power poles lines look to start with? Then you've got the Optus cable, and there you're going to have the NBN cable. So I don't know.
Well, and the Telstra cable and the phone lines, and
Yeah, so it's all rubbish, isn't it, really? But anyway, so what's happened is the New South Wales government has said, they've said they wanted to charge the NBN $140 per pole. Okay, per pole, compared to $40 per pole in other states. Now, apparently this is already hunky-dory in other states, so I'm so glad we don't have power poles around here. I think it's ugly, and I think if you're going to move forward, I don't know why you want to continue putting wires up in the air. Why can't you put them in the sewer or something like that? There's sewers all over the place. So where are we? Where was I? $140 a pole. Anyway, so the NBN not happy with this. So they've said, hey, listen, in the Telecommunications Act, and I think it's section Schedule 3 of the Telecommunications Act 1997 says the NBN can use federal powers to override state laws to roll out fibre cables. It is believed to be unprecedented use of federal telecommunications law. NBN Co. will force Ausgrid to allow the installation of fibre cables on poles. Now, Ausgrid is the New South Wales government's, infrastructure pole builders, things like that. So NBN Co. blah blah blah. You got the gist of it. So there you go. If you're in an area with telegraph poles, you might be getting another little blue line. So I don't know. I don't know why we can't move out of there, but obviously it's too expensive to put in the ground.
Well, it's a bit of a
Fair,
catch-22 because places where there's already underground infrastructure and pits and conduit, it's easy to run them. The problem is in the places in the older areas where there is no underground conduit already run, and the cost of horizontal boring and then running through run a trail, especially in like an area like we have about 2 inches of topsoil and then it's bedrock. So, you're not going to be able to run horizontally bore through that in any, reasonable time frame. So I kind of get in areas where it's existing, but if there is an option to run it underground, I think they should be made to take it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they're doing. It's just that there's some areas. Yeah, apparently there's we're out at Long Jetty on the New South Wales Central Coast. It's going to be the test case for the federal powers. So we'll see how that goes, eh? Shane, did you have any more stories? How about what is it? That's just Siri. What's SBS up to?
SBS 2 relaunches with entire series streaming online. Basically, this is a story about SBS having they've already got like an on-demand service, but what they're basically saying now is that they've got this thing that they call back-to-back, where as soon as the first episode of a series, not that they show Big Bang Theory, but they should, say that they had Big Bang Theory, they'll show the first episode of the series, and then from that point on, the actual whole series or whole season will be available for download. So you can, hence the term, you can watch them back to back.
Finally, someone gets it.
So,
Yes.
so as soon as they've shown the first episode, you can jump on and see the whole series.
Yep.
Sweet. It's a pity that nothing's on SBS. It's a
You
pity
can
it's-
watch, Parliament Time or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or it's ABC, isn't it? What is on SBS? Yeah.
Oh,
Sex
what's that?
Before Sleep. That's it.
Yeah, Rock Quiz. That's on there.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah. Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah, look, my dad sat up one night till 12:30 in the morning. He wanted to tape this show called The Big O. Roy Orbison. He sat up to 12:30. Wasn't Roy Orbison.
Not at 12:30 it wouldn't be, no.
There's a heap of people in a room having something that starts with O, and I said, "Well, what did you do?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I waited up for it. Might as well have watched
I
it.
might as well watch it.
I waited up for it." But so that's
I waited up for it, then I got up for it.
so that's good. That's good, SBS. So that's good. So you approve of this one, Will? This is a step in the right direction.
Unfortunately, it's SBS, but yeah, look, I think this is the way that they have to do it. They don't have a choice. They're going to whinge, bitch, and complain and try and fight it, but ultimately, they don't necessarily have to release them back to back like this. They can still release them, episodically.
Yeah.
But I don't see, why don't you say, okay, we'll release it Tuesday night on our internet stream. It'll cost you 20 cents. You can watch it, or you can wait till Wednesday night and watch it on TV. And then on Thursday night, we'll put it up for free. So the people who really want to watch the stream, like say in the case of Doctor Who, I'm sure if they put that on the net and released it a day early and charged people 20 cents to watch it, people would do that, so
But they can't.
they need to have...
I could see that there's issues with BBC material, and they couldn't charge Britons an extra 20 cents because they're already paying for it anyway.
No, but what will happen because what will happen normally is they'll have commercials either before, after, or during the show. So instead of, I guess you could do in-stream commercials, but there's always ways around that, including ad blockers and things like that. And by the way, if you watch any of our shows on YouTube, please disable your ad blockers because we don't, not that we get much revenue from them, but we do get, a slightly higher revenue if you disable them, and then feel free to, turn them back on for everybody else's shows. But
How very charitable, Will.
But yeah, as I was saying, if instead of worrying about trying to figure out how to put ads in and trying to worry about targeted marketing and how we're going to just say, look, 20 cents, you can watch it. $1 will get you the whole season. You know, make it simple. I mean, you can either pay $40 a month for pay TV, so you're paying for shows and ads, or for the sake of $10 a month, you could watch every show you're going to watch when it comes out.
And another thing that I think has got a big question mark on when will it change is, when do you think that Foxtel is going to, like, say, make their HD boxes the standard? You know, like, why is there still a $10, say, a month difference between?
Because they can.
Well, I know they can, but like, at
That's why they do it. Once
some
people go, hang on, they shouldn't be doing this, and everybody stops paying it, and everybody goes back to the standard set-top boxes because they don't want to pay the $10 a month, then they'll go, oh, we should make that free. But while everybody goes, oh, well, it's $10, we'll just pay it, then they're going to keep doing it.
Like,
it's just,
Yeah, look, well, I don't know. Like,
it's the same way that Telstra keeps paying for, they charge you $40 a month for phone line rental. You know, especially if you've got cable, the phone line runs into the cable box and then runs over the cable network. There is no phone line. They'll still charge you $40 a month phone line rental.
Yeah, but
Why?
you can't.
Because they can.
Well, they can, and you can't. But it's the law as well. You can't do nothing about it.
It's not.
So,
Well,
I have
it's
a
not the
question
law. They
about this
don't
whole-
need to charge you.
Before we go too far off the TV thing, who here actually watches or still watches kind of traditional TV? Anybody?
Yes,
Normal free-to-air stuff.
Yeah.
not live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not live.
Okay. Now, are we in a position like America
It
probably
depends
is
on what it
closer
is.
to? Can we? I mean, the show that they have on Twit, Frame Rate, where it's all about cord cutting and getting rid of your cable, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether they actually include free to air when they talk about that. But are we in a position here where we can go completely online TV watching?
I don't
No.
think so.
And I'll tell you why. Things like myself, I watch V8 Supercars and I watch things like that. Now, if you're which I happen to be Telstra on my mobile, so I can actually watch V8 Supercars, but for them online, but the quality's not as good. There's a big delay and there's constant dropouts. So for me, I don't need to pay for Foxtel because I've got other options there. But for things like news, sporting events, a lot of the community-based shows, a lot of the stuff on SBS or Briz 31 or whatever is all local stuff, and there is no online option. I don't think our internet is good enough in this country to have that as the only option.
No, I know that with the T-Box, you can get T-Box on ADSL now. I'm not sure how. Obviously, it's successful. Obviously, it works. It works well with cable. Like, I can hire a movie and start watching the movie within 2 to 5 minutes, and then it'll download sufficiently fast enough for me to continue to watch the movie from start to finish without, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to have some good internet. I don't think everyone in Australia wouldn't be able to have it. Free to air, we've still got rules about free to air sport, and they've got a premiere, like say the NRL, they've got a Channel 9 for some reason gets the rights for 2 games Friday night, and one of them is a live game. Channel 9 apparently gets to choose what they want to watch, what they want to broadcast. So 6 weeks out, they'll say, oh yeah, which are the best games of the weekend for the next 6 weeks? Bang, bang, bang. They're the ones we want. And, is that fair? I don't know. Leaving the scraps for Foxtel? Don't know.
Yeah, but Foxtel broadcasts it in HD, and it's the same transmission that Channel 9 broadcasts in standard. So, they have these HD channels, and this is the thing that annoys me. They complain that people don't watch their stuff, and they're always complaining they've never got enough room to show the shows they want to show. They've got 4 channels, and they play the same thing on 3 of them. It's.
Are you talking about
just
free to air?
Media companies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but you're looking at they're recording and recording the footy with HD cameras, but showing it on an SD station. And apparently, for some reason, it's going to change next year. But why? Why? Like, you look at the State of Origin or whatever it is, and you'll see you go to Gem, the HD Channel 9, and you'll see some 1956 movie in black and white. great
Yeah,
HD
in HD.
quality. Yeah, great. It's great. But
You can see the grain.
so maybe it's got something to do with because not everyone switched over. You know, maybe they've you know.
But what's that got to do with it? If you're not switched over, your signal just won't encode it. I mean, you can broadcast in HD, and the way the TVs work now, I mean, pretty much everything's HD. But the channels, unless they're specifically a HD channel, which I think there's only a couple of those, but there's no reason they can't broadcast HD on a standard def channel, because the set-top boxes are smart enough to realise that they're just going to play it back in standard def anyway. So it'll just re-encode it back to a normal def. It's not... In the early days, there was a big thing with HD and SD. Like, you couldn't watch the HD channels on a standard def set-top
That's
box.
right. Yeah, that's right.
But I think they've got around that now. I think the boxes, the channels themselves are smart enough to figure out
But who's got a box
what
these
they're
days?
watching. Oh, my dad.
Yeah, but
You know,
well, yeah.
Dad's still got a TV, a 1978 General Electric CRT.
Does he watch it?
Yeah, it doesn't get turned off. It is on 24/7.
Yeah, right. Does it smell when it
regardless
gets
of
hot?
whether he's home.
All the dust that
It's
smells.
always hot. Yeah. No, it's always on. It's the same TV we've had since I can remember. And
right.
It's still got an old VCR sitting underneath it with a corded remote control that runs around the lounge room and sits on top of the coffee table so we can change channels.
Wouldn't be a national Panasonic video recorder.
And
Yeah,
is
national,
Is
yeah.
the clock on the VCR flashing 12?
No, it's an analog. It's actually an analog clock. It's actually got toggles. You set it with toggles,
Oh
and
my
it's got
gosh.
an analog time.
Oh, so the what about the tape counter? Just rolls
With the-
around.
Yeah, that's it. It just rolls around. And then on top of the
Sweet.
TV unit, it's got an AM, FM, single speaker, valve record player.
Oh wow.
It's probably too
Jeez.
frightened to turn it off in case it doesn't come
You-
back on again.
That's right.
You walk into his house, and dead set, it's like you've just walked back to the 1970s. It's the Encyclopedia Britannica, all like 140 editions of it from like 1978.
Oh dear. Did you tell him you can get it
It's
all on one
amazing, that
CD?
Well, he's got a computer. He's got the internet. I don't know why. He doesn't even know how to turn the computer on, but somebody gave one to him.
Yeah,
Wasn't me.
he's got a
Somebody
TRS-80.
gave one to him.
He's got the micro
And
beat.
I had one of them.
Yeah, it's actually got what were they? Pentium Pros, the things with the massive processors.
Yeah,
It's actually got Pentium Pro.
going off, going crazy. Good on him. Good on him. All right. Well, I think we're come to the end of the show. Shane, did you have anything else?
Have I? No, I think
I think you're finished.
Yeah, there's a couple of other stories there that are in the show notes for people to read. But yeah, as far as that goes, I'm done.
Cool. If you want to see the other stories, aussietechs.com.au/podcast and go and look for show notes and you'll find them. If you want to contact us, you can at Will, Glenn, Eric, or who did I miss out? Shane at aussietechheads.com.au. Get us on Twitter. I'm at Aussie Tech Heads. Will's at Mr. Tompkinson. Shane's at Shane1973. Shane with a Y. And Eric with a K. Franco at, of course. All right, so we'll be back here again, same time, same channel next week. And I think another special presentation from Shane next week, another great interview coming your way. And don't forget, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the Tom Merritt interview. It's great. Just flip around the webpage and you'll find it. Or if you want to go straight to it, aussietechheads.com.au/specials. You'll find it that way. But other than that, I think it's time to go. See you,
Get
Will.
it quick before 60 minutes gets it.
That's right. Getting fast. And yeah, good stuff. All right. So see you, boys. We'll see you next week. See you, lounge, and see everyone else. All right. Ta-da.
Bye.
There.